All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, listeners in Radio Land, wherever you are. I want to say good morning, Maserado. Good morning, Banga. Good morning, Tututa. Good morning, Wiala. Good morning, Sadada. Good morning, Zweju. And to the citizens of this wonderful country, I want to say welcome to another fresh edition of the radio program Integrated Watch. Today, this edition is aired live on Truth 96.1 FM. And it's also on Integrity TV, Facebook, via Facebook, Integrity TV. If you're watching us, you want to say, do not go away. Integrity Watch is a primary radio-based and communication information dissemination platform of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. This program serves as a key advocacy tool that provides essential information about the state of the fight against corruption and national integrity building efforts, as well as promotes the culture of accountability, transparency, integrity, and evidence-based decision making across all sectors of our country. So, under Center's National Integrity Building Anti-Corruption Program that is funded by the government and the people of Sweden through the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, see that this program is served as an advocacy, like I said, coordination and engagement platform to rally citizens and other stakeholders support for the fight against corruption and bad governance in Liberia. This program today, I am your host, Mark W. Bondao. So, as part of the National Integrity Building Anti-Corruption Program that is sponsored by the government of people of Sudi, to see that Center has many activities, of which I will talk about the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center. So the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center is an independent platform that enables citizens to freely report and seek redress to corruption and other integrity-related issues within their communities, counties, and their country at large. What do we have at ILAC, or who do we have at ILAC? At ILAC, there's a team of professionals, including lawyers, who are ready and willing to listen and provide necessary advice needed per the complaint. That is, whatever complaint that you will file, a team of lawyers, a team of professionals, including lawyers, are there to help you out. Or perhaps if you want to know some laws governing anti-graft institutions in our country, you can also call the ILAC team, and they will provide you with those things that you are in need of. So how do you get in contact with ILAC? We want to encourage citizens to call and freely report to the following mediums. So we have the email address. The email address is alac@center.org.lr. That is the email address. You can also follow our Facebook page. Social media is something that most of us are glued to nowadays. So you can follow our social media page, Center ALAC. That is CENTL ALAC. Interestingly, you can call a toll-free number. Both Lone Star and Orange subscribers, you can just call that number, and the short code is 4432. I repeat, 4432. And one thing we want to advise the general public that please, the number is not for play. Like I said, we have serious people there who have that willingness to contribute to the fight against corruption. So please do not just call the number for formality. I repeat, the number is 4432. 4432. That is the number. You can just call that number. Or we also have walking services. So if you want to visit us, in person, you can just stop by our offices on 22nd Street, opposite JFK, at Top Lucky Pharmacy. And as soon as you get there, you say you want to meet the ALAC department, the security will direct you to go where to go, rather. And like I said, that the fight against corruption cannot be done by one person, an institution alone. So we are partnering with anti-graft institution like the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. So we have the hotline numbers too. You can call the hotline numbers on 0555395 728. I repeat, 0555395 728. Or there's a short code for that. It's 4048. 4048. That's a short code for that. And they also have an orange number. You can call 0776 600 050. So we encourage our guests on this platform to be very civil and informative, and with zero tolerance or invectives, and or refrain from denigrating comments. And we also encourage our guests to be very, polite, decorous in their dispositions as well. So today we have an interesting personality in our midst, Isatu Ville Cheeks. She's a coordinator in the education department at NASSCORP. As you may be aware, NASSCORP is a government security agency that provides future financial security for those shames employee of both private and public sectors in our country. Perhaps in the case of event, perhaps let's just say occupational injury, old age, invalidity, or death, or whatever. But when she comes on the platform, she will, expatiate on it more. But before we usher her in, we want to talk about little things that matter. It's important that we always talk to His Excellency President George Manuia. Want to say wherever you are, Mr. President. I want to say in my own capacity, good morning, and I know that you are doing well, and I know that you have the people, the citizens are hard because democratically you were elected for that position. So we want to say good morning to you. I will come back to you, Mr. President. I want to say good morning to you. So we on our agenda here, we want to say, as you may be aware, the Muslims are in a fast month. We pray that all of those prayers that will be, heralded to Allah, may those prayers be answered. And also the Christian too. They are, we are in our Easter week. So this week is another important week in the history of Christianity. So we want to admonish, all of our Christian brothers and sisters to take this week very holy. So back to our president, our ever potent dynamic president. I want to say good morning again. I'm already emphasizing on this because there are some burning issues, there are some burning things I want to talk about this morning. Mr. President, the accusations and counter accusations of corruption, especially at and the government ministries and agencies, is concerning. You need to really look into it. It's important that you look into it. It's very important. As you may be aware, the alleged The alleged corrupt practices at the Labrador Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Services. Legis is something that you should look into. There's many things that are coming up, from that particular place, and you need to really, really look into that. It's important that you look into that. It has been alleged that some 1 million was transferred into the census account, and but people are saying that at the agency, people are saying that they only received 700,000, and they don't know. There are all kinds of things coming out there, so we really want you to look into it. I think these are some of the reasons why we've not had our census now. It's something that you have to look into it, Mr. President. You must take action on this. It's very serious that you take actions on this. It's very serious. Another thing again that is really concerning is the outbursts of diplomats and partners, especially concerning good governance and transparency and accountability. Like in 2019, many diplomatic personalities were complaining about the need for accountability in our country. And in 2021, or let's just say in this year, we had Gregory Meeks, Ambassador McCarthy, Dana Banks, all pointing the need for transparency and accountability in Liberia. Mr. President, diplomats are not usually people who go on public issues. But when it happens, it sends out a very negative impression about your leadership in the country. Your Excellency, you need to do something about it. You really need to do something about it. It's important. The seeming lack of accountability under your administration is something that is something that is seriously hampering all sectors of our country, including us, the CSOs. Donors fatigue like the local and international NGO, CSOs, CBOs are feeling pinch. This particular climate now is this investment climate is getting hostile every other time. There is something you need to really look into it, please. It's important. It's very important, Mr. President. I want to talk something that is very concerning too, for my part, as it relates to obtaining public documents. Let me just start with the driver's license. The people at the Ministry of Transport needs to really beef up that game. They need to do something. The director there, Mr. Director, wherever you are sitting and listening to the sound of my voice now, I want to say, please, that you need to do something. You really need to do something. It's important that you do something. Like if a person wants to obtain a driver's license, when he or she goes, as soon as that person steps there, the person, if is a first time going there, they will get confused because many people will just come up to them. I can help you do this process fast. They call themselves expediters. I can make this process very quickly. Within less than 2 hours or an hour time, you will get your driver's license ready, valid, authentic. On the other hand, they are there to extort. On the other hand, they are there to extort. So if a driver's license or chauffeur's license is $45, that person will add extra money on it. Perhaps that person will tell you, I want you to I want to make this process very fast and very speedy. So just bring $75 within a split seconds, you will get it. This is not called for. Every other time we are, in as much as we are telling the government to be very proactive in the fight against corruption, the citizens to themselves need to be very proactive. They need to stop these things. Corruption is something that we know that it is our number one enemy. We have to fight it whatever way we can fight it. That is the only way we're going to go forward. But if the heads are trying to fight it, and those that are down are the ones that are already perpetrating, making the act to go. Why? How do you think corruption will reduce in our country? We need to stop these things. We need to stop it. I don't want to mention about the birth certificate section, neither the at foreign affairs to obtain a passport. These things needs to be talked about. These things needs to be acted upon. Before I usher my guests, I would just like to talk about our country, especially the tidiness of our country. To be very honest, Liberia needs to do better, especially as it relates to garbage maintenance. More often, citizens are the ones that are always in the habit of dirtying the streets. If you are patriotic citizens, please, whenever you have dirt in your hand or whatever substance that is not good, try and dispose of it somewhere. Please, we are begging you. We need our city to be clean. We need our environment. We need our community to be very clean. Please, we are begging you. Please, we are begging you. A delegation from the EU said that the country is dirty, and actually, it's true. It's true. You can't if you drive from Sinko to Pinzio or from town to Pinzio, you know that the city is dirty because the garbage they are not hitting. They are right on the road. I know people are trying their best to clean the place, but the citizens are the ones that are always putting dirt on the street. It's not even in the corner, but it's on the main road. We have to do something. But I know that this generation is going to be a better generation. The awareness is growing. The fight against corruption is getting hiking every other time. And someday, we're going to sit down with our children and say we were the ones that advocated for change. We were the ones that said that set the precedents for others to follow. Thank you for listening. Let us just take a break and usher our guests in quickly for another section of our program. Let's take a break and usher our guests in. All right, all right. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Wherever you are, welcome back. Like I said, the program that you are in tune to is Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1 hour radio program of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. So right now we have our guest in studio. She'll just call her name, quickly.
Okay, again, my name is Isatu Ville Cheeks. I work with the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation in the Department of Education.
Thank you so much. So how you been keeping?
Very well. Thank you also for having me on this platform and this great show. It's very important to talk about the issue of transparency.
Yeah. So yesterday when I talked to Mr. Jab, because he and I have been having emails exchanges over the last couple of days, and he said, "Don't worry, I will send somebody that's very evil." I was like, I trust you. He said, "Don't worry, don't you are in good hands. The information will be disseminated properly." So I'm super glad and excited to meet you. So
Thank you.
like,
Same here.
how's the family too?
The family is okay.
I know,
Thank you for
no.
asking.
Yeah. So
And
what?
how's your end as well?
Oh yeah, we're doing great.
Okay.
My institution, we trying to make the fight against corruption to be very strong, especially to be a collaborative one.
Sure.
Like for the NASCOR, we've been in partners for I think almost 2 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be engaged into some other activities of recent. There is a few fees posting that we'll be doing at your entity, I think, either today or tomorrow,
Okay.
where the process in getting the social security,
Benefits and services.
definitely, yeah.
Sure.
So we're gonna do that quickly.
Okay.
So ladies and gentlemen, you just heard her quickly. If you are following us, just drop your comments. If you are listening to us via radio, do not go away. Stick and get glued to the radio. So let's talk about the NASCOR. When somebody hear NASCOR, what comes to their mind?
Okay, because I'm aware that we have different classes of people in terms of education listening
Okay.
to us. I'm going to try as much as possible to be clearer,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
in
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to avoid all the satire terms.
Okay, great.
Okay, because at the end of the day, the essence or the rationale is to have the information spread as far and as wide as possible so that people get to know exactly what NASCOP is doing.
Okay.
Okay, so when anyone, whether you know book or you don't know book, you hear about NASCOP, just know that it's an institution established by government to provide social protection for workers. By this I mean to reduce vulnerability, to reduce hardship, suffering, poverty amongst poor people and marginalized people by providing basic services for family, for individuals who have worked, for people who work and get injured while you are working. Because if Social Security is not existing as an institution and someone gets hurt on the job, it is very easy for the employer to say it was the mistake of the person or the negligence of the person to have gotten hurt, and so they will do nothing about it. But for NASCOP, we don't look at that aspect. All we are interested in is the recovery of such person so that that person can continue to provide income and generate income for his or her family so that they can live.
That's interesting.
Sure.
So I think NASCOR is contributing towards the growth and development of our country.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's something that we
Yeah,
all
and we are
should.
even saying it. I'm sorry. We are even saying it. You can see the imprints of NASCOP all across Liberia in different facets of our society. So, to just put the whole conversation in context for people to understand, we operate by law, okay?
Okay.
And the law that established NASCOP put before it three programs to be able to cover the entire social protection of the workforce of our country. At the moment, we are operating two of them. The injury program, it's scheme, we'll say, but just for the understanding of the public, we have the injury scheme or program and the pension scheme or program. And those two allow us at the moment to provide benefits to people who are working and sustain injury while they're working, or maybe got sick as a result of the job they were doing, or even where they die, we'll have to take care of their families that they will leave. In this case, it will be their wife and children, or husband and children, or people who have worked and reached the age of retirement, which is 60 years. I mean, you want to sit back, get up in the morning, have your tea or coffee when you want to, and be assured that at the end of the month, even though you might not be actively working, but you will definitely be receiving some form of benefits that are from Social Security that will keep you going till you are called.
Yeah, so let's talk about the employment injury scheme, right? How is it like, in terms of, if people want to, apply to get, the benefits after war, or while they are still on the
Under the
job?
injury scheme.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens is under the employment injury scheme, the first thing is whatever injury will be reported has to be an injury that came from the job. That,
Okay.
yes, as a result of the job. As a result of the job means you got up Monday morning and went to work while you were en route to work, where, or while you are at work, or leaving work to go home, or leaving work to go and run an errand
Mm-hmm.
for the entity.
Okay.
So what you need to underscore
For the
there is,
entity.
yes, for the
Okay.
entity, you have to be in the workspace, which means if you were on vacation, or you were, even if you were actively working, but on a particular day and you call off, like, oh, I can't come to work again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have this family problem or so, right? Your entity can grant you, but mind you're not working that day. So what is key, and it's important to stress this, because oftentimes people just think that once they get injured, any kind of injury means they can come to Social Security. But the way the program is organized, it has to be an employment injury. It has to be that you were working actively when the injury took place. So when that happens, there are three different kinds of injury conditions that we have.
Okay.
So we have the commuting.
Okay.
That's when people will leave their homes to work,
Okay.
and whatever means you use to get yourself to your office, right?
Okay.
Social Security is not particular, but what we look at is where you en route to work or from work, okay? And then we also have industrial accident. That
Okay.
one will usually take place at the premises at where the person will be working. For example, the rubber tapper
Okay.
in the forest tapping a rubber, right? If he gets injured because they use that sharp knife, right? That's an accident that he sustained while he was working, or somebody trying to climb the stairs with some document from one office to the next, and that person gets maybe slips and falls. That's an industrial accident.
Okay.
Basically, what we're saying is once you are in the
In the
workspace
workspace.
and you
Okay.
sustain an injury out of an accident, you have some kind of benefit, and it depends on what exactly happens that we will be able to flow with the benefits.
That's interesting though. But how are people responding to that particular scheme? How are people responding to it?
So we have been over the years, I can say that with a straight face, informing, educating the public about their rights under this injury program. For example, telling them that once you are in the workspace and you sustain an injury, contact NASSCOP promptly for your benefits. And you asked earlier on, how does it work in terms of claiming you get
Yeah,
benefits
yeah,
under the
yeah,
injury.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I wanted to set the basis first to
Sure, sure.
clear it that you will not just report any injury as an employment injury. It has to be an injury as a result of your job.
Okay.
Okay. So now, when an injury occurs, say for example, let me take one of the conditions I mentioned. Okay, like under the commuting accident. Let's say John was on his way to work, and John got involved in an accident. Okay, what happens immediately is John is taken to the hospital. John will not be taken to the NASSCOP office for his injury benefit, neither to the office John works at.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
that's the procedure. John has to be taken to the hospital. And because it's not possible for Social Security to be on the scene across our country for an injury to occur, for us to distribute cash there immediately, we reimburse whatever is spent by the employer or by the employee.
Are you people considering decentralization?
Of course, that's why we're across the country.
Okay, great.
And in a moment, we can come to that to tell you how situated we are across the country.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So once our injury is reported, Social Security relies on the HR of entities to let us know. Like
Okay.
I said earlier, it's not possible for us to know that injury has taken place all over this country.
Definitely.
But the entity for which a person works is required to let NASSCOP know that my employee was on his or her way to work and she got involved in an accident. Then we come in and request certain requirements, and then we go into paying benefits.
So there is a certain percentage that is being paid like monthly or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So under the injury scheme, so the total contribution percentage, okay, is 10% of each person's gross salary.
Salary, okay.
10%. So if you're making $100, this means every month Social Security will receive $10 on your behalf to cover you under the two programs. But there's a small breakdown that's important for people to also know. So remember I said the two programs we're
Yeah,
running or
programs.
schemes, right?
Yes.
So under the injury scheme, the rate of contribution is 2%
Okay.
of each person's gross salary. Remember now, it's 2 out of 10,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that 2% the law says should be paid by the employer, not the employee.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they're deducting it from the employee's gross, but the employee will not pay anything. So technically, we only use the 2% to know how much to be paid, but it will not be physically deducted. Okay. The other 8% is under the pension scheme. Again, the law says the employer, the person for whom we work, should contribute 4% to our pension. Because remember, we might be active, well, and healthy right now, working, very energetic, but you will not stay that way all the time. You get old, right? You get sick. Anything could happen. So this one takes care of that. We contribute towards our pension with the mind that we will work and attain age 60, which is the key requirement for us to request our pension benefit. Okay, so the 8% the employer will pay for, and then the employee will pay for towards his or her own pension. So you realize that a total of 6% would have been paid by the employer. So protecting the employee under the injury and pension, while the employee is contributing towards his or her pension.
Fantastic. I think that's great. So, wow, I'm learning new things. So it's almost like the similar thing with the tax paying, right? It's almost like a similar thing with the tax paying. All right.
The thing about the tax, I don't want to go into
No,
it
don't
much
go there.
because we pay the tax, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we receive our benefits from tax payment through other.
Yeah.
But for this is a direct,
right?
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
From NASSCOP to you.
So okay, great. So that's the employment injury scheme right there, right?
Yeah.
So the national pension scheme.
Yes. So the scheme, like I said, under the breakdown for contribution,
Okay.
8% is contributed under the pension, scheme, and there are three benefits under the pension. That's where you hear the issue of the retirement pension. The person has reached the age 60. There are three conditions. You'll be 60 years old. You must have made certain number of contributions, and that will be depending on which year you were born. If you were born before 1980, you would have made 100 months contribution. If you are born 1980 and afterward, you would have made 144 months contribution to NASSCOP, and you must be retired from work. Once you meet those three conditions, you qualify for the retirement pension. So that pension will give you until you die. So when you retire at 60, we'll pay you the pension until you pass. And when you pass, according to the law, depending on how much you consumed, we'll also give you the benefit to your dependents. Under NASSCOP, when we say dependents or survivors, we're talking about a wife or husband and child or children. Okay, except in an extreme case where there is no wife, there is no husband, then we look at parent.
Well, he or she is filling the form, all those information.
Yes, there's a form we call Form 2. And every single employee in the Republic that is working, right, and registered with an entity that is registered with NASSCOP, that employee will receive the Form 2. The Form 2 is what tells us basically everything about the employee. Okay, your name, your date of birth, your dependents, if you are married, where you live, places you have worked. All of those information help to ease the time it takes us to process your claim. There's only one information on that form that cannot be changed. You can update the form too, as a matter of fact. And by law, you can update it at any time, as many times as you want to. Social Security would not restrict you to say, oh, but you just updated last week. Why are you updating? Once you have a genuine reason, and the genuine reason could be change of name that will be supported by legal documents, right? And change of spouse, you could divorce and get married again. You just provide the requisite information. Okay, maybe addition of your dependent, maybe you had a child, right? You can add, yeah. So only your date of birth, because date of birth will not change. It's constant. Okay. Otherwise, you can even change your address, which makes it even easier. That's why even on the field when we go, I would tell them just a little just updating your information with NASSCOP helps to ease the processing time. Because, for example, we just don't pay benefit, we investigate to ensure that we're paying the benefit to the right person and the system is not being duped, right? So, for example, if you had on your Form 2 a location that you have changed and you did not update us, tomorrow if something happens like an accident or so, we say, oh, boy, I thought Mark said he lives Congo Town. Why is he reporting an accident on his way home from Simple Bridge? So you realize that it's a call for investigation, right? Sure. Whereas if you had done the update, we know exactly, oh yeah, my name is Simple Bridge, okay, which kills the time. Now we will have to go now and confirm as to whether you believe Simple Bridge or not.
All right, great. Before I come to the challenges, I know it's obvious that there are challenges. Are you guys considering digitization in terms of like perhaps you just talk about if I want to change certain things on my phone, can I do it online? If I want to do payment, can I do it online? And
so what you might not be able to have a direct interaction with our platform in terms of changing your information, but I can also say yes in a way, because you can download the form from our website. You can fill it out, you can scan it and send it back to us in via email. So you don't necessarily have to come in person to get something that's simple done. I personally have done it for a couple of people, where they will just email me their Form 2 when they have updated it, attach the Form 3, because the essence of the Form 3 attachment is to confirm to NASSCOP that you are still actively working with an entity. So once you forward those 2 documents to the Department of Registration, yes, you don't have to go to NASSCOP in person. So yes, we have NASSCOP has come of age. I mean, before
sure.
Before 2009, we were basically doing everything manually. Okay, today I can say proudly that many of our systems are all now automated, which reduces the time for us to get. You can remain right at NASSCOP now and get basic information on the stroke of reporting. Okay, so yes, we're thinking in that direction.
Impressive. So we would like to, before we come to the challenges, like I say, I know it's obvious that every institution undergoes challenges. It's obvious. So before we come to the challenges, I would like to open the line quickly. We open the line and get right back to you. Let us just take this break and we'll open the line and get right back to you. All right, listeners and viewers out there. We want to say the program that you are in tune to is Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1-hour program, radio program of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. Today we have a guest from the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, Mrs. Cheeks, who is here providing some information about NASSCOP. Before we go to her, we want to open the lines quickly. We only got one line here now. So the number is 0776 927472. If you are following us live, the number is 0776 927472. I repeat, 0776 927472. I repeat, 0776. All right, we have a caller here. Hello, caller. Your name and where you calling from? All right. Let's hear you. I believe you've been following the discussion. Can you move away from your monitor? Can you move away from your monitor? I'm getting you. Can you move away from the monitor? Can you move away from the monitor? It's like your line is very bad. Your line is. Can you move? Can you move away from the monitor, please? I'm getting you. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you for your contribution. Yeah. I think he's like saying that this person is working right and he's paying his whatever thing, but this person dies and his spouse too dies and the child, the like you said, it what dependent, right? Yeah, and this dependent is 25. So can that person receive the benefit on behalf of
No, the
that
person will
deceased?
not receive the benefit because of the age the person carries.
Okay.
Okay, clearly written in our laws, the laws that protect the Social Security program, it says for a child to receive benefit from NASSCOP, the definition of child will be 21-year-old and
Okay.
below.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
21 and below. So if you are 22 and above, you are not a child. But you agree with me that even conventionally, 18 years old is a child.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
sorry, it's an
Below,
adult.
yeah,
So 17 and below
yeah,
will
it's
be what we consider to be a child. But because of all the different conditions that we are all aware of, the war and the setback and all of that, Social Security adjusted her age to 21. So I think it's even a good thing.
well, I hope that caller is hearing it. Is hearing, like she said, 20 below 20,
Yeah,
20
21 and below.
21 and below. Yeah, you are not eligible to receive that.
21 and below will receive.
Oh, okay, 21 and below will receive, yeah, about
If you are
25.
above 21, no.
Okay, great. I hope caller you are hearing that quickly. The number is 0776 927472. 0776 927472. You can just put in your calls there quickly. So let's talk about the challenges with each of the scheme, right? Let's talk about it. So firstly, let's talk about the employment injury scheme, right? Let's talk about it.
So one of the issues we're always contending or facing when it comes to people receiving benefits under the employment injury is uh, accurate information.
Accurate.
Yeah, because it is based on information that will be provided in NASSCOP that we will have to dwell on to pay benefits. So, for example,
Okay, yeah.
let's say somebody reported that he or she sustained an injury at a time when that person is was not even at work or should have been out of work, right? But then you try to manipulate, the system and provide inaccurate information to NASCOP to say that you sustain this injury while you were working. Because we are dealing with thousands of beneficiaries, we will have to confirm. That's where we now go into investigating, as to when it happened. Did the person even clock in at the at work? Because remember, I said you have to be working.
Yeah, sure.
You know how our society is. Sometimes, I mean, in most instances, we always try to look for the easy way, and if it means trying to cheat or
To get money, yeah.
yeah. So yes, that's an issue because around the employment injury timing, of the injury or the accident is very key because we would like to know whether you were working at all in the first place. So if you providing such an information to us, it puts us off. But generally, I would say also the issue of inaccurate information will be put around. For example, the age that would
I think
be covered.
that is where this other guy had a problem,
Yeah,
you
we
know.
cover
Yeah.
under the pension. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a problem he has, but in a different way. But for example, let's say out of ignorance or out of bad intent, right, or dubious intent, somebody provided an information in NASCOP to say they are at this age when they started working, right? But then as their years went on while they're working, they started providing different ages, at different places that they've worked. That's a challenge Social Security has because at the end of the day, that person could lend at an entity where he or she would be claiming that he or she is 60 years old and should be receiving his or her pension. But
Mm-hmm.
meanwhile, you have already reported to NASCOP and information that suggests otherwise, as in maybe you're 58 or 57 or 55, or 56. That's a point of contention because you can be claiming that you're 60. Say you're working now with RCI, you say you're 60, but we went to check your record, past record. We realized that you're not 60, you need 5 or 6 or 7 or 2 or 3 more years to turn 60. That's a major problem. Okay, and then communication too is a problem. So there's a portion in the processing of our claims, right, where we now communicate directly with employees or the beneficiaries, so to put it that way, right? So they will give us contacts that we will not be able to get them on. And those will be the people that will go out and say, it been 9 months, it been 11 months, it been 2 years since I submitted my, my claim to Social Security, and I have not received my benefit. I've gone up and down. But mind you gave us a number, right? That you said we can reach you on, and we call the number over and over and over and over. We can get you. The fact that we are not sure whether you are dead or alive, we can't do anything unless you show up. So if you have a process with NASSCOP ongoing and you haven't heard from NASSCOP, it's possible that you have forgotten that the contact you left with NASSCOP, you have changed that contact.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we calling you and we're not getting you. You can also, see our office. That was a case in point. That we went to Kanta to do some training with our staff there, and we're looking at what can we do differently to hasten, to further the processing of claims when they're filed. Okay.
Yeah, let's take this call. It's been embarrassing too much. Hello, caller. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Roland W. I'm calling from Painesville.
Huh?
Yes, but my father worked for Firestone, and I have a issue with them.
Okay.
Yes, he had an accident. He lost two of his fingers. That is the right third finger and his fourth ring finger. Yes, he lost it doing job site.
Yeah. Just get to the point, huh?
Yeah, so I want to know, because each time he talked about it, he said that he want to get retired for before he start the process. So I want to know if the thing is necessary.
Okay, I think you heard that right. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I
Okay.
got
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let me just say, sorry, first of all, for this very unfortunate incident that happened to your father. He said his father, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very sorry at NASSCOP for that. I don't think he should wait for his retirement before taking on this case because it's an injury case, it's a job-related injury case. So he has the right, the entity he works for has the responsibility to communicate with NASSCOP. So as you are hearing me now, encourage your father to get the HR of that entity. I don't know the details around it, the accident or the injury, but he can get to NASCOP. There's an office. He said Firestone, right?
Yeah.
We
Sure.
have
Sure.
an office right by the labor office there in Firestone. The fact that he's in Firestone or Habdell, he would know what that is. So you can just visit that office and provide basic information on what has happened. And the HR should back that up with a communication, letting NASCOP know what has happened to this
Yes.
person. I'm just hoping that it is not something that happened years back.
Okay.
Yeah. But he
Yeah.
doesn't have to wait for pension to be to file any claim for this
The
injury.
entire time to be over before he
Yeah,
files it.
no, he will
Okay.
be
Great.
if this case is genuine, as in he was actually working when it happened, and it can be confirmed by the employer that yes, it's a job related case,
Okay.
he should be having his benefits by now.
That's interesting. Yeah, you were talking about some of the challenges.
Yeah, so I was giving an example, right?
Yeah,
So we have this other mode of payment just to ease, the tension or the hassle or the movements of our beneficiaries, because the people we work for, our beneficiaries, especially those ones that have reached the age of retirement, they're old people. Many of them are sick and old. So we don't take pleasure in them going up and down just to get some benefit or their benefit from NASCO that they have worked for their entire lives. Okay. So we have regional offices, and they are situated in a way where people don't have to leave from for example, Maryland to come to Monrovia. You can go here, or Grand Crew to come to Monrovia, Lofa, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
sure.
we are centrally located. So let me just quickly state our regional offices, and I'll give you the story of Kanta. So Montserrat, where we are, is Region 1. So anybody having issues with Social Security in Montserrat will just go on 15th Street towards the beach. We have our office there. We take care of all your needs from that end. Because every claim that is made to Social Security starts with the regional offices. Okay, you can just come directly to the head office.
Okay.
Yeah. So Montserrat people will go 15th Street towards the beach. That's our Region 1. Region 2, our Region 2 office is in Buchanan. Okay, Grand Bassa County. But it covers River Cess and Bassa County. Right, Grand Bassa. So those two counties can just go right there in Buchanan, opposite the Catholic Church, adjacent LBDR. You can miss it. Okay. Region 3 is in Bomi County. It's located in Todmanburg. So it takes care of Bapolu, Cape Mount, and Bomi. Don't leave from there and come way Monrovia only to be sent back. Right. Region 4 is Margibi.
I want to just talk about that.
Yes.
That's it. When
yeah, that's the center.
Those people from Bon Nima, they can just
go there. So no, Bong has his own.
Oh, Bon has his own.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
So Margibi, the entire Margibi, and it's because of the size, the Firestone size. Okay. So it's just Margibi, right, including Habel, Kakata, and all those areas. Okay. And for Margibi, we even have another sub office. So we have one in Kakata itself, and we have another one in the Firestone area to take care of RIA, Firestone, and all of that. And all is just to reduce, the struggles our people will have to go through to get services from us. Okay. So Region 5 is Pong. It's in Pong County, and it takes care of Lofa and Pong. You see how we're located? Region 6 is in Nimba, and Nimba too, because of its economic size, it's just Nimba alone. Okay. We don't have a Region 7 that used to be way before the war. Region 8 is in Maryland, right? County, it takes care of Grand Crew, River G, and Maryland itself. Region 9 is in Greenville, Sino County, and takes care of the office that used to be Region 7, which is Grand G. So I'm giving this mouthful to let people know across our country that we're making efforts to reduce the struggles when it comes to Social Security. So we also have, as part of our payment platform, mobile money. So we don't just pay through the bank.
Like that. Yeah.
So remember now, even the bank
time is not like in our field.
I can imagine. So anyway, I can stop here if you want me to.
Yeah, just end that quickly.
Okay. So we have mobile money payment too, so that people who are in hard to reach areas, or they don't even have to make their way to the city center. But once you have somebody in your Lake community or your Lake village that is running mobile money, you can receive your payment right there in front of your tool. So we're making efforts to ensure that our beneficiaries are given the utmost services they deserve.
I think we have to avail another platform for this particular
that's
discussion.
Why I asked you initially how long this program goes.
Yeah, it's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. Listeners out there you have it. She has been very explanatory on the entire process of NASSCOP activities. So if you are following, just keep following. Somebody just text and say, "Can you please help me with that lady's number?" I'm like, "Oh wow, please." I don't know, but you will have to go to the office. I believe she mentioned office where if you are in whatever county you are in, she just mentioned those regional offices. Those regional offices that you can get to, and all of the information that
you where you are, you just go to any of those places.
Yeah, you can just like for Monrovia that you mentioned 15th Street.
Yeah,
15th Street
towards the beach.
Towards the beach side, you can just go there and get enough information for that. So there you have it. We want to call this a day from the part of the Integrity Watch, and want to say, let's just get the party coming quickly as we wrap up.
So I just want to encourage employers out there, especially employees, firstly, that if you are working for any entity and you don't have anything to do with Social Security, it's not in your interest. You have to ensure that your employer registers you and ensure by following up from time to time as to whether they're making a contribution, the contribution to Social Security on your behalf as well. Because today you have the energy to work, tomorrow you might get injured on that job, tomorrow you might get sick to the extent you can't work anymore. You may even pass. What happens to your family is a very good feeling to know that you have a family called NASSCORP that will take care of you.
Thank you so very, very much. That was the voice of Mrs. Cheeks. She has been providing enough information on NASSCOP. So I want to say thank you for following wherever you are. Those like following us Facebook, Entirely TV. Thank you for following us. Those in Radio Land, want to say thank you for following us. Join us next Wednesday for another interesting episode of this program, Integrity Watch. Have a wonderful and God bless day. We catch you later. Bye-bye. Wow. That was very short.
Yeah, I think there's so much to think about.